Welcome to Meet JMT, Insights from Within, a series that introduces our industry professionals and provides them the opportunity to share their professional experiences, personal reflections, and sources of inspiration as individuals working in the architecture, engineering, and construction sectors.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another Meet JMT podcast. My name is Jennifer, and I am your host and digital marketing manager here at JMT. Today, we have a very special episode for you all. It is National Safety Month. We're going to be focusing on the crucial topic of safety within our industry and highlighting the importance of safety measures and culture at JMT. Here to help us do this are two members of our safety team, our Director of Health and Safety, Pete Kaplan, and Safety Coordinator, Jessica Graham. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
So happy to be here.
We're going to start with some additional introductions. Jessica, would you mind telling us a little bit more about yourself, your current role, and what led you to join JMT?
Hi, I'm Jessica Graham. I'm the safety coordinator out of the Knoxville, Tennessee office. Prior to JMT, most of my career, I worked in business administration. I've also worked in distress scene cleanup, and I've owned my own business. But my favorite job of all time was being a stay-at-home mom. So once my daughter began school, I decided I wanted a career change, and that is when I started working on my occupational safety degree. In 2018, I took on a dual role at Vaughn & Melton, handling both administrative and safety responsibilities. Then JMT acquired Vaughn & Melton in 2021, and I was given the opportunity to work full-time with the safety department. The acquisition really opened up the opportunities I needed for my professional growth, and I'm eager to see what the future holds here at JMT.
That's fantastic. Pete, how about yourself?
Hi, I'm Pete Kaplan, and I'm the Director of Health and Safety at JMT. I work out of the Hunt Valley office. My journey began here in 2020, and I recently celebrated my 4-year anniversary. Before joining JMT, I spent my career as a safety professional working for general contractors, and I contributed to some pretty remarkable projects. Some of my favorites include the World Trade Center reconstruction and installing a new runway for Andrews Air Force Base. And funny enough, I was on the I-95-695 interchange renovations, which also happened to be a JMT project, although I wasn't lucky enough to work for JMT at the time. On a personal note, I'm the proud father of 2 wonderful girls who keep me very busy. Despite that, I try to find some time for hobbies, which include cooking and fishing and fixing everything the kids manage to break around the house. I'm incredibly thankful for the opportunity to work at JMT. Having worked in the Mid-Atlantic region, I was well aware of the company's stellar reputation for prioritizing safety, which is truly one of our core values. And in my role, I strategize and implement safety initiatives across all our projects and assist colleagues with compliance requirements and client demands. Our safety department is actively involved in managing work-related incidents, emergency planning, and overseeing our fleet, which has now grown to just over 400 vehicles.
Well, thank you for those additional introductions. And yes, Pete, happy anniversary. We're going to dive right in since we have a lot to discuss today. Let's start with the current state of the health and safety team at JMT. What can you both tell us about it?
Today, our department is comprised of 2 deputy directors, along with Jess and myself. Frank Torella serves our northern offices, and Jen Woolery works with our southern offices. Just like all our other colleagues, they have a very diverse background, and they're an absolute pleasure to work with. Together, we collaborate to ensure comprehensive safety coverage across all of our operations.
That's right. We've expanded our focus to include not just physical safety, but also mental health and overall wellness. We have a section dedicated to mental health with different self-care tips. For example, last month we talked about feeling overwhelmed. Is it stress or anxiety? And how you can identify and address those challenges. I am hoping that readers can take a moment to consider a new perspective on mental health or relate with the featured information and find it helpful.
I'm happy to hear that both mental and physical health are both a priority because they really do go hand in hand. Let's talk about the overall safety culture at JMT. How are we fostering a culture of safety within our organization?
To achieve this, it has to start from the top and extend out to all employees. So we could not do this without our leadership team, as they do an excellent job at pushing this initiative. First, we conduct regular training sessions and workshops that cover a wide range of topics, from fall protection practices to safe driver training. We also have an incentive program. It empowers everyone to take proactive steps toward identifying and mitigating risk, whether it's through submitting a good catch or near miss, driving safely, or participating in our monthly safety quiz. Every action contributes to our collective well-being.
Our safety culture is very proactive, and this helps set us apart from the competition. Employees are encouraged to voice concerns about potential risks or propose enhancements. This culture of open dialogue allows us to preemptively address issues and continually refine our safety protocols. The instances of near misses and good catches represent an ideal scenario. This is where we can anticipate and prevent accidents or injuries that were otherwise likely to occur. And in the past, these situations would go unnoticed until an injury or damage had actually happened. Now we have the advantage of learning from both actual incidents and these good catches. So we leverage this knowledge to update our procedures and training with the goal of eliminating these occurrences before they even happen.
This seems like a very well-rounded approach, and it sounds like the good catch and near miss approach has really made a difference in preventing injury. Can you share a story where our safety measures have helped prevent an accident or even an injury?
Absolutely. One event that stands out involves a technique used for parking. This is known as first move forward or back in parking. And thanks to promoting this technique, we've seen a reduction in accidents involving vehicles reversing out of parking spots. As silly as it sounds, in our history books, we've had a number of accidents that could have been avoided entirely if the employees had been able to drive forward out of their parking spots. And these backing accidents can lead to not only damage to the vehicles, but in our industry, there have been fatalities directly contributed to reversing vehicles. So by practicing back-in parking, the operator can have the greatest level of awareness when leaving that parking space and hopefully prevent any potential injuries. So if you're operating a vehicle, please make sure to take your time when you park so that your first move can be to pull forward out of the parking space.
I remember a few of those accidents, but thankfully most of them resulted in minor property damage. Although the incidents that we have had are minor in nature, the potential of having a serious incident in this type of situation is high. So it is important for everyone to remember to back into parking space, conduct a 360 walk-around inspection before entering your vehicle, and take the time to get a clear view of your surroundings before pulling out.
It's interesting to hear stories of how simple changes to behavior can result in potentially preventing a fatal accident. I know safety is involved with accidents and injuries. What are some other roles and responsibilities of the safety department?
The safety department is responsible for emergency preparedness, helping each of our offices prepare an emergency response plan specific to their building and location. We are currently developing the job hazard analysis program for all the various tasks that our employees perform. We also invest in modern technologies and training methods to keep our safety measures innovative. And of course, the most important thing we do is to keep us in regulatory compliance.
Another important aspect is learning from past incidents. We conduct thorough investigations of any accident or near miss, analyze it for the root cause, and implement changes to prevent future occurrences. This constant learning cycle is crucial for maintaining and improving our safety standards.
Learning about these good catches and near misses is extremely informative, but I'm curious to know, what are you supposed to do if you have an actual accident?
If there is an emergency, then 911 should be called right away. If emergency services are not needed, the employee should notify their immediate supervisor or someone from the safety department. Within 24 hours of the incident, employees are required to fill out the first report of incident form, which can be found on our intranet page. As soon as we are notified of the incident, we will then reach out to the employee to provide any assistance needed. We will also get them in contact with OneSource, whom we have partnered with to help manage our workplace injuries and illnesses.
The incident report is really a very comprehensive document. When we created this form, we sought input from industry organizations as well as our own insurance carriers. And this form helps guide employees through difficult questions and allows us to develop the right responses to help prevent any reoccurrences. These responses might be changes in equipment, some training on the procedures, or even revisions to our policies.
Well, it's clear that the safety department does a lot of emergency planning and response. Are there any new initiatives for this year?
We're also working on some internal processes for our underwater inspection group, as well as our unmanned aircraft systems, otherwise known as our drone group. These two groups have some unique risks as well as regulations. With the increasing popularity of drones, there's been a lot of buzz surrounding them, and we are actively working on developing a program to help with the safety and effectiveness of their operations. There are a few different departments that are involved in this, so we're only playing a supporting role. One of the key aspects of our program is the training and certification process for drone pilots. To operate our drones legally and safely, our pilots need to obtain the necessary licenses, and JMT needs to follow strict procedures to ensure that the drones are properly registered and insured. These procedures are in place to safeguard both our pilots and the general public.
As we wrap up, what are some key takeaways or words of wisdom you would like to share with our listeners?
Safety is everyone's responsibility. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and don't hesitate to speak up. If you see something, say something. We're all here to work together and try to keep each other safe.
Absolutely. Continuous improvement and a strong safety culture are essential to JMT's success. I would just ask that everyone stay curious, remain involved, and don't hesitate to ask any questions. And just always make sure that safety is your top priority in everything you do. If you're a JMT employee listening, you can reach the safety department 24/7 through our internal hotline or email address.
Thank you, Jessica and Pete, for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. It's been enlightening to learn more about the safety department at JMT and the important work that your team does. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Remember, safety is paramount, and it's up to all of us to maintain and promote a safe working environment. Until next time, stay safe.
Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed the Meet JMT podcast today. Remember to subscribe, post a review, and of course, encourage your friends and colleagues to do the same.